David and Clayton, 36, 37, and 38 years old. Who in the hell need enemies when you got a so-called friend like this? This is very disturbing. This family have suffered all types of anxiety and everything about this case. Is no explanation that no one can give that will truly explain what in the hell happened to these young men. The lawyer can say what he want to say. I understand he have to defend his client, Jordan Willis. But Willis' statements don't add up to what was found at his rental home in the suburb area. Now, here's three or four problems here. First off, the family is saying that are speaking out to the media that none of the stories are adding up. The second thing is this friend then put himself in rehab through the direction of his counsel. Third, why was three grown men outside for 2 days in somebody else's backyard, at someone else's house, frozen to death, as they say, considering that the weather was above freezing the first 2 days, and on the third day, January the 9th, they was found that it was below freezing, but it wouldn't have made them froze to death, as they're proclaiming. I'm trying to understand that if that is the truth, why did he have to check himself into a rehab?
17 years, flat out says David was murdered. Those three guys were murdered. The Kansas City police said from the very beginning the deaths are not being investigated as a homicide, but Lori Cruz says her boyfriend of 17 years did not use drugs and that he was murdered.
Huh?
Well, I know y'all have heard the stories about that it is an potential fifth person that may have been at the house also. So I'm just wondering, what happened that one person ended up in bed, sleep, or dead to the world for 2 days, that he didn't even know that three men that he considered his friends were laying outside of his home in the backyard, two in the yard, one on his porch or deck, and he knew nothing. It was a reporter said that she did go to the house and see things for herself with her own two eyes. And yes, if you're just passing through, yes, it would be hard to just see out the window. But you mean to tell me in 2 days he didn't go check his mail? He didn't go check to see anything?
What?
Okay, if he didn't smoke or drink, and there are new reports that have came out within the last 48 hours that there is potentially toxicology reports reporting that all three of these men had alcohol, cocaine, and THC, which is marijuana or weed, depending on what you call it, in their system. So were they forced to do that? That's the question. Because see, this friend is supposed to be extremely, Jordan Willis, smart. These guys were going over to a friend's house that they trusted. Apparently they must have partied and done whatever with him a couple of times. My thing is that, it's a football game. Of course they're going to have a couple beers, and, in some cases some witnesses said they saw them with at least 2 packs of 30-pack beers. Okay, whoopee-doo. They having a nice time. It's a guy thing. So my thing is, Even if they would have drunk all of that beer, and considering that it was five of them, I couldn't see them being that intoxicated that they couldn't even get themselves together to go home or just sleep it out until the next morning. Now, one thing that I have not been really able to find out is, were these men dressed? How were they dressed? Did they have on clothes? Did they have on just underclothes? Did they have on shoes and clothes? Like, I haven't really been able to figure that out, because I would like to know, why would 3 to 4 grown men be walking around naked if that is the case?
Hmm.
Another thing that I feel is very weird. I'm quite sure you knew when they knocked on your door, speaking of the authorities, the cops, that they were police or law enforcement. Why in the hell did you come to the door with a wine glass and boxers on?
What?
Since early in the investigation, police have said the case is not being investigated as foul play, but some of the loved ones of the deceased believe Willis played a role in their deaths. John Harrington, father of David Harrington, whose body was found on the open porch, said that he and David's mother both are convinced that Jordan Willis played a part in the death.